Servlets are the basic components on Java programming language to allow our application to interact with HTTP protocol. So it makes our application listen to requests that come from web applications and perform requests on server side, which gives us a great programming capabilities, allowing us to access resources such as database and make network requests for internal IPs and so much more. So knowing how to backend programming, starting with servlets, is a very important skill. So let's understand what are these servlets and how they are configured. Basically, a servlet has no magic feature over that. It's just a simple Java class, but it extends one native Java class that is the HTTP servlet. It's one abstract class. It cannot be instantiated itself. So when we want to create a real servlet, we need to extend to make an inheritance over the HTTP servlet, creating our own servlet. And this servlet will be a real one. It's not mandatory, but then, depending of what we want to do, this servlet has to override some methods. And some of these methods could be the doPost, or the doGet, or any other method to response to receive requests over specific HTTP methods on requests. So here we have two examples, one for doPost, what to do when receive a post request, and what to do when receive one GET request. Both methods and others that are not overridden here have the same interface. All receive two parameters, which are the HTTP servlet request and the HTTP servlet response. What they are? Basically, they have specific goals. The request object gives us access to all information that come on the request we have received, all the form data, all users that the client sends. What was the user agent, the user browser, what is the user IP, and so much more. And the response is where we build all the output, all the response we are going to send back to user as a result of the processing we have done here. So no matter what method we overwrite, it's the same interface always. Here we have a short example which we receive some parameters. So here two ones, the login and the password, make some processing. In this case, just printing in the server console, the system output println means printing in the server console, and then we also will print in the user browser based in the output string print. And we are going to do a similar thing when called by the get method. And okay, but then we have a normal Java class, we have extended from HTTP servlet, and now it already works. How the system will know how to answer that? So there is one more very important thing. We need to bind this servlet with one URL, one endpoint address that the application will be waiting for requests, and when we receive that, we will redirect to this class. And it's done here. Inside the webin folder that every Java web project has, we have one web XML file. And in this file, we'll make this binding. We say the following. There is a servlet named login that is implemented in this class. Here the full package name in this class. And here we bind the servlet we have just defined with one URL. So it will be the project URL where it's installed depending on the server it was deployed, and the /login will always redirect to this class. And then here we have all the redirecting and the binding between the URL address that will receive the request and the servlet itself. So let's first do one first test with the get method. I will run our servlet that will run here this address we have mapped, and look, our IDE already suggests a few parameters, and I have a few parameters in my case. So we can use here the get syntax. I have the login information, that in this case will be my name, and we have one password, that's another parameter, that here will be this hard secure password. And now let's ask for this access. Now it is processing, and let's wait. It's already run. No, not this one. Okay, have not executed. Let's try again. Okay, without setting the parameters, looks like it has executed. Okay, building, and we probably are here now. Okay, here we have our servlet. I will clear our output in the servlet console. And now let's observe what will happen when we set parameters to that. So one first parameter we have defined was the login, and one second parameter was our password being passed through get. Okay, it has received. The print here is always the same, but the server itself, if we take a look here, it already prints in the console what you have received. And why? Why, when it's entered here in the doGet implementation, we print in the console the informations, and it prints that it has received by get. So looks, it has really redirected to here, because in our browser we have this output. But now let's do one last test. Let's try to make a post request for this servlet to enter in this case. So let's do the following. We are going to open this another app that's a simple login form, but its action is pointing exactly for the same servlet I have developed. It's here. We can see in the browser it's already answering this address. So I take the same address it's answering and set here in the action. And the method now is post. So let's execute this form. This form is another server, is another application, but it's pointing to my servlet. Let's close everything. And okay, and here we have. So let's here again put here a password, and let's log in, and here one password, a different password here, and let's submit that. When submitting, it's being processed by my server, and looks, it identifies it has been received by post because the post message was printed. Remember, just when received by post message is written, and it also prints the output here. So it was the new password I have inserted. The only difference is that one has been sent by get and the other been sent by post, and each method has its own features. Normally, of course, for password information, the do post is more interesting because it does not show the password in the URL. But our goal here is to show how servlets work. And here we have one example about servlets and how we can use that for receive HTTP requests and perform its processing.